Good evening, yogis. This is the fourth practice in our series. And as I have been telling you in the earlier practices, what I'm intending to do is slowly add on and on postures as we continue with our practice. And so as we come into this practice today, there are basic postures that we've already gone through, where I've spent a little bit more time speaking of the alignment in those. The basic ones like the warriors, the lunges, and others. And so now we're going to be picking up the pace a little bit. I'll be spending a little bit less time talking about those basic postures. And if you're not familiar with them, I encourage you to go back and look at the earlier videos and practice them. And so you can become more familiar with them as we move along with our practices together. In today's practice, I want to get into side bends. And these are very nice because they open up the side body. They help us to breathe deeper. And I've been thinking quite a bit lately about the benefits of strengthening the condition of our breath, especially in this time of this coronavirus epidemic, actually pandemic. So let's get started. Straighten your spine, sit up, and make yourself comfortable. And take a moment to notice your breath. And as we come in and notice our breath, we can begin to notice if there's any adjustments that we need to make in our seat so that we can feel comfortable in our seat. Now we'll begin to work with deepening the breath. And so this begins with that balanced breath that we've been practicing. We breathe in slowly and deeply for 4 counts, filling yourself up completely. And then exhaling for 4 counts, so slow exhale, and firmly drawing your navel in towards your spine to push all the old air out of you. And so let's work with this balanced breath. With each cycle of your breath, with each exhale, notice if you can get a little bit more air out of you so that you can become completely empty. In my opinion, the exhale is the most important part of the breathing cycle, because if we exhale completely, then the inhale just comes naturally. And then we can add a little bit more to fill ourselves up. We're working with the 3-part breath here, breathing in to the navel center, into the side body, and up into the upper chest. I demonstrated this 3-part breath in another video on the Yogitan channel, and you might want to go back and look at that. There's a few breathing practices I introduced there, including the breath of fire. And so as we continue with this breathing cycle, notice if you feel any tension in your body, perhaps around your legs. Do you have any tension in the shoulders and neck, in the lower back? Straighten your spine. And as you breathe in, imagine we're gently trying to extend the crown of the head toward the sky to create a spinal extension. As we spend just a moment longer here, create a clear intention for yourself. What is it that you wish out of this practice? For some of us, a good workout. Others, relieving ourselves of any stress and worries that we might have, or a combination of them, or it might be other things. So take a moment to clearly state what is your purpose in this practice. And what we do this because if we know where it is that we want to go, then we can go there more efficiently, obviously. And so let's begin to move. With your arms at your sides, let's extend the arms up. And we're going to stretch and lengthen the spine as we breathe in. And as we exhale, we'll lower the arms and lower the chin toward the chest. And repeat. Now we'll lift up the right arm and gently come into a side bend, a lateral stretch, and rise up and move to the other side. As you come into your side bend, you can turn your gaze toward the ceiling or sky and bring your arms slightly behind your field of view so that you're making sure that you're bending to the side and not turning toward the floor as you come into these side bends, these very nice lateral stretches. Preparing to twist, let's extend both arms up. And as we exhale, turn towards your right. And we'll continue on to the other side, exhaling as you turn toward the left. Notice if you're moving slowly and gracefully, smoothly, without any rush. And let's complete the movement on the left. Extend the arms up and lower your hands down onto the floor and let yourself hinge forward for just a moment. A very easy hinge, and we want to hinge in the hip joints here, so we don't want to bend the back to come down to the floor. Instead, extend the crown of your head away from your body, reaching it away, and notice how that action helps to straighten the spine. Keep your gaze on the floor just in front of you. And continue firmly drawing your navel in towards your spine as you exhale, as you try to tilt your tail toward the wall that's behind you. Maybe we'll move a little bit deeper if it feels comfortable as we begin to release here. Let's come back up. And from here, I'd like you to turn to face away from me, and we'll come onto our backs. I have my mat perpendicular to yours so that you can see what I'm doing in a better way. Laying on our backs, bend your knees and place your feet on the floor, drawing your heels in towards your bottom, and your feet are hip distance apart. We'll go into the dynamic bridge. Draw the breath in as you lift your hips up. Extend the arms up and back behind you. And then as you exhale, lower yourself down and hug your knees into your chest. Extend the legs up with the heels flexed, pressing the heels toward the sky and extending the arms behind once more. And as we exhale, we'll bend the knees, lowering the feet to the floor and the arms to our sides, and coming back to the starting position. Let's repeat the cycle. Coming up into the bridge, exhaling as you lower and draw your knees into your chest. Extend the heels up, feeling a release in your hamstrings, and lowering the feet down. Let's get 3 more cycles of this. Try to roll down the spine as you lower down into the floor. And as you extend the heels up, press the pelvis, the hips down into the floor as you press your heels up toward the sky. I believe we have 2 more to go. Breathing deeply as you come into the bridge, exhaling, drawing the navel in toward the spine as you tuck. Inhaling, extending the heels up, and exhaling. We come into our last cycle now. And on this cycle, we're going to prepare to stay with the heels extended up toward the sky. Extend the legs up. Now, some of us might need to have our hands behind the legs to support ourselves, or we can have the arms at our sides, or even extending them back as we've been doing. Breathe deeply. Firmly drawing your navel in towards your spine. Let's lower the feet down, arms to your sides, and take a moment to relax. I'd like you to bring your feet a little wider apart so that your little toes are touching the edge of your mat. Open your arms out to the sides, take a breath in, and we'll move the legs like windshield wipers, letting the knees go to one side as you exhale, lifting them up and over to the other side. As we move with this, we can begin to turn our head as well in the opposite direction that the knees and the legs are turning. Once more on each side. Good. Let's come back up. And from here, we're going to extend the legs out and roll onto your left side. Roll onto your side with your legs extended and your head resting against your arm. The heels come forward an inch or two, so we have a slight hinge in our hips. Float the right leg over the left. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, internally rotate the thigh, touch the floor with your toe, lift it up, and then touch the heel behind. Try to make a very small circle here. And what we're trying to do is just create a rotation in the hip joint, just from one side to the other. Finish with one more cycle. And then we'll bend the knee and place the foot on the inner thigh. This is like a sideways tree, a tree laying on the ground, the tree shape. And what we want to do is simply open the leg out so we can feel a release in this inner thigh. Now we'll take the hand and holding the inside of the thigh, try to extend your leg up. You can slide the hand up higher or possibly hook the big toe if that's accessible to you. Hold it for a moment. And let's release it. We're going to roll onto our other side. So I'm just going to shift myself so I can still be facing you. And position yourself as you did before. Float the left leg over, internally rotate the thigh, touching the toe, the big toe, and then the heel behind. So I want you to feel the rotation in that hip joint, rotating in the hip joint. And as you rotate it, I want you to feel the action coming from the navel center. See if you can draw the navel in slightly as you work with this so you can feel it moving into your belly. Let's finish the cycle. We'll bend the knee, placing the foot against the inner thigh. And again, we come into this sideways looking tree shape. Hold it for a moment. And then placing the hand on the inner thigh, extend the leg up. As before, you can slide it up onto the shin or possibly hook your big toe. Let's release it. And from here, we're going to roll onto our stomachs and come up onto our hands and knees. Now, my transmitter fell off, so I need to put it back on before we continue. But come onto your hands and knees, and from there, come into your child's pose. And just stay for a moment in child's pose. Let yourself release in the shape. Firmly drawing your navel in toward your spine. Letting go with each exhale. Let's come up onto our hands and knees, coming into 4 points, and stepping your right foot between your hands into a variation of the low lunge. And here we want to create a straight line between the shoulder, the left shoulder, and the left knee. As you breathe in, extend the crown of the head away from your body. Tuck your left foot under, lift the knee off the floor, and move into the low lunge. And stay for a moment here. We'll step the right foot back and move into the downward facing dog. Reach your bottom toward the back wall and lengthen your spine. Open your fingers as wide apart as you can, pointing the middle fingers away from you. Firmly drawing the navel in toward the spine as you exhale. Lowering once more onto the knees, into 4 points, we'll step the left foot forward, coming into this variation of the low lunge on the other side. Tucking the right foot under, lift the knee off the floor. And stay for a moment here, straightening yourself. Let's step back into downward facing dog once more. Work with lengthening your spine, the spinal extension in this shape. Externally rotate your shoulders to broaden the upper back and squeeze your forearms toward each other. In the down dog, firmly draw your navel in toward your spine. Lowering onto the knees, we'll step the right foot forward again, and we'll prepare to come into the hurdler shape. So what we want to do here is we want to keep our waist pressed against this thigh and slowly move back. As you move back, try to reach your tail away from you. And don't move back beyond where you can keep your waist against your thigh. Draw the toes back and press the ball of your foot away from you, feeling a gentle release in the hamstrings as we stay for a moment. Let's come forward and step back into the down dog. Lowering once more, we step the left foot to prepare for the other side. Move into the low lunge variation, and then slowly begin to move back, keeping your waist pressed against your thigh. Reaching the tail away and extending the crown of the head in the opposite direction. Drawing the toes back and pressing the ball of your foot away. Stay here for a moment and just relax. If you feel like you're tensing up or struggling, then you're forcing yourself too deep into the shape. So bring yourself into it comfortably. Let's come forward again and step back into the down dog. Let's come forward, and from here we'll come into the side plank. Bring your legs together. We can also lower the left knee to the floor as we turn to the right to provide support, or you can keep your legs together. Turn to your right and extend the right arm up. As you breathe in, Bend the side body and extend the side body up as you breathe deeply. Exhale, straighten, and bring the arm to your side. And let's repeat. Deep breaths. Let's get one more cycle. Very good. Extend the arm up and stay in the side plank. You can decide to float the right leg off the floor into a star. If the left leg is straight, you can gently touch the inner thigh, as we were doing on our side, or you could try hooking the big toe, as we did when we were on the floor. Let's come back into our downward facing dog. As I turn the other way so I can face you as we move to the other side. Come into your plank and decide if you'll be lowering the right knee to the floor as you turn to the left. Inhale, extend the arm, bend the side body. Exhale, and straighten. I went on a nice bike ride today, just before the class. It was such a nice day. Now we stay, extend the arm up. See if you can float the left leg off the floor. Maybe if the right leg is straight, you can gently touch the inner thigh or possibly hook the big toe. Let's come back into our down dog and stay for a moment. Gazing between your hands, walk towards your hands. I'll turn to face you in this shape. We're going to bend the knees enough so we can feel the waist against the thigh and hang upside down for a moment. A very gentle forward bend, squeezing your ankles toward each other. Preparing for the chair shape, bend your knees, rise into chair as you breathe in, and exhale as you fold. Inhale, moving into chair. Exhale and fold. Continuing. 2 more cycles. This time we'll stay. Utkatasana. Firmly draw your navel in towards your spine as you exhale. And add a smile if you wish. Let's rise all the way up and lower your arms. Standing in mountain. Open the chest. Tuck the pelvis under and press the back of your thighs away toward the wall behind you. As you breathe in, extend the crown of your head toward the sky. Let's bring our legs together and we'll come into a standing side bend called Moon, Chandrasana. With your arms at your sides, lift up your right arm. At first, straight up. Extend the crown of the head away to create this spinal extension and continue extending it as you bend towards your left in the side bend, squeezing your legs together and lifting out of the pelvis so we don't cause any contraction, any compression in the side body. We want to extend the crown of the head away from the body. Let's rise up and lower your arm to your side. Just take a moment to notice if the right side of your body feels more open, more spacious than the left side. Observing what the side bend has done for us. These side bends are very nice for creating a healthy lower back, relieving any pain in the back, as long as they're practiced properly. Keeping the pelvis tucked under, extend the left arm up, create the spinal extension, and continue to extend the crown of the head away as you bend to the other side. Breathe deeply into the side body. Drawing the navel firmly in toward the spine as you exhale. Let's rise back up, lowering the arm, and step your feet hip distance apart. Now we can see that the openness is balanced on both sides. Let's link our fingers behind, lift the chest, and roll the chest open. Keep the pelvis tucked under, and breathe into the chest deeply into your heart center. Releasing the fingers, let's interlink them in front. Turn your palms to face forward in front of your heart and extend the arms up as you breathe in. Exhale and lower. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. Now we lift and stay, drawing the shoulders down, but extending the crown of the head up. Breathe deeply, firmly drawing your navel into your spine with each exhale. Lowering the hands down, coming back into mountain. We're going to come into a shape called eagle now. It's another shoulder opener. So from here, you might want to step onto a hard surface since we'll be balancing on one leg. With your legs together, bend your knees and extend your arms apart. Take your left arm in front and cross the right on top, stacking the elbows and lifting the elbows. So here we should begin to feel a release in the upper back. Now we can stay as we are, or we could choose to come into a balance. Lifting the left foot, you could stay here in the balance, or possibly crossing it. Garudasana, eagle. Let's step down and take a moment to adjust. Let's prepare for the other side. Beginning with the legs together, bend the knees. Extend the arms apart. This time the right arm comes across and the left stacks on top, interlacing your hands. Oh, my arms have gotten a little slippery from sweat. How about yours? Feel the release in the upper back. Are we on the wrong side? Was it supposed to be this way? Oh, it's this way, I think. Now, we'll lift up the right foot off the floor and possibly crossing the leg as we did before. Let's release and step down, coming back onto the front of your mat and standing in mountain. So from here, we'll go through a couple of forward bends. Extend your arms up as you draw the breath in, and as you exhale, slide your hands down the legs and fold forward. And then we'll rise back up, just repeating this a few times. Exhaling. Folding forward. Inhale and rising up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale and rise up. One more cycle. Very good. Standing at the front of your mat, fold forward and step back into downward facing dog. Come forward into plank and stay for a moment. And let's lower down. Preparing for Cobra now. Our first back bend, really. The bridge in the beginning is also considered a back bend, but we could think of this as our first one. Tuck the pelvis under, and as you draw the breath in, lift the chest, expanding the chest and lowering as you exhale. And let's continue. Keep your gaze on the floor in front of you so you're not lifting your chin. We want to feel an expansion in the heart center. This is what we're looking for. Let's get one more cycle. Lower down. Bring your arms to your sides. Turn your head to one side and rest your cheek on your mat. And take a moment to relax. And then we'll turn the head the other way, releasing the neck. Let's come onto our hands and knees and sit back in child's pose. Come up onto your knees, and we'll move in and out of child's pose just a few times, and then we'll make a variation on this so we can feel a difference when we make this variation. So 2 times with this. Rise up, and with your hands below your shoulders, your knees under your hips, we'll take the right knee and slide it back an inch or 2. Try to keep your pelvis parallel. Come back into the child's pose, firmly drawing the navel into the spine and rising back up. You should feel an extra release in your right side as you move back into this shape. And notice how you feel with it. Good. Now we'll bring the knees parallel and slide the left knee back just a bit. And let's repeat the cycle on this side. Perhaps feeling a bit of release in the left side. Does it feel good? Very good. Let's come back into the center and sit back in child's pose and stay for a moment. Rise up into the hands and knees and press back into down dog. Gazing between your hands, walk towards your hands. And if you can, with your fingertips on the floor, bending the knees, come into a half bend, extending the crown of the head away, squeezing your ankles toward each other. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale into half bend. Exhale and fold. Inhale into half bend. Exhale and fold. Rise into half bend. Stay. Extend the arms back. And let's come all the way up, standing in mountain. What I'd like you to do now is straddle. Come into a straddle. You can straddle your mat, so if your mat is in the middle, and I've turned to face you here. And we'll come in and out of some twists in this position, but first we'll simply fold forward with the legs apart. Slide your hands down your legs and fold. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and let your head dangle toward the floor to release around the neck and shoulders. Feel the whole spine release. And you can even sway around a little bit if that feels good to you. From here, we're going to bend the right knee, straightening the left leg, and just simply hinge to one side, releasing the inner thigh of that left leg. Keep the outer edges of your feet pressed down into the floor, and let yourself stay for a moment. And let's move to the other side. Coming back to the center, rise into the half bend and extend your arms behind you. From your heels, push into the floor and rise up. Then we come back up into an upright position. Now we'll prepare to come into our twists. Bend your right knee as you extend the arms apart. Turn to your right and bring the left hand down towards your foot, coming into a twist and unwinding and coming back up. And let's continue. Two more cycles, please. You can again smile as you're working, And imagine this makes our practice more advanced. Let's bend the other knee and move to the other side now. Moving slowly and gracefully. One more cycle, please. Very good. Let's go back to the first side, and this time we remain, turning your gaze toward the sky. As you breathe in, expand yourself, drawing the shoulders apart from each other, and as you exhale, draw the navel in and twist it toward the sky, in the direction of your turn. Deep breaths. Rising back up, lower your arms to your sides. I like to close my eyes for a moment and just notice the bliss, the release that this shape produces. A variation of the revolved triangle. Let's prepare for the other side. Extend the arms apart, bending the left knee slightly, coming into your twist as you exhale, and rising up out of it as you breathe in. And continue. Once more. We already did this, didn't we? Let's come into our twist and stay this time. Drawing the navel in and twisting it toward the sky. Broadening the shoulders as you breathe in. Let's rise up. Let's take a moment here. Now, just to balance ourselves out, we'll take a couple of turns on the other side so that we can have a similar number of twists as we did before. Oh, good. Let's come up, lower the arms, and take a moment to relax. Please interlink your hands behind you, your fingers, lift the shoulders and expand the chest, bend the knees slightly, and fold forward. Let's rise up, lower the arms to your sides, standing for a moment. Noticing sensation. Turn to your right and come into the warrior one shape. The left foot flat against the ground. Move into the shape, then straighten the right leg. Extend the arms up as you breathe in, and as you exhale, lengthen the spine and fold into pyramid. As you inhale, bend the knee, rise into warrior one. Exhale and move out. Inhale, arms extend up. Exhale, extend, fold into pyramid. Rise into warrior one. Exhale and move out. Let's repeat. On the next cycle, let's prepare to stay in the pyramid. Let yourself release here. Firmly draw your navel in towards your spine. Rise into warrior one. Stay. Firmly draw your navel toward your spine. Hinge forward and prepare for warrior three. Lower the fingertips down. Step down. Fold forward. Rise into half bend. And from here, come all the way up, lowering your arms to your sides. So I'm going to face the other way. You stay where you are. Let's prepare for the other side. I think it's the right leg that goes back and the left knee that's bending, so it should be the opposite from before. Straighten the leg. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, extend and fold into pyramid. Rise into warrior one. Exhale and move out. Inhale up. Exhale, extend and fold. Rise into warrior one. Exhale, move out. Repeat the cycle. On this cycle, we'll remain in pyramid for a few cycles of breath. Firmly draw your navel in toward your spine, and as you exhale, also tilt your tail toward the sky. And as you breathe in, extend the crown of the head away. Let's rise into warrior one. Stay, firmly drawing the navel in toward the spine as you exhale. Hinge forward and prepare for warrior three. Virabhadrasana 3. Let's fold, step down, come into your forward bend. Rise into the half bend, continue all the way up, lowering your arms to your sides, and standing in mountain. Breathing deeply, noticing sensation. Standing at the front of your mat, extend the arms up. Exhale as you fold forward, rise in half bend, and step back into down dog. We're going to prepare for warrior two. But first, raise your right leg off the floor, flex the heel, and reach it straight behind you. The heel should be about the height of your hips. Reach it back. Now we're going to bend the knee and turn it up toward the sky. Feel your other heel descending towards your mat. As you exhale, step between the hands and rise up into high lunge. Straighten the leg and pivot the heel. Open the arms apart with your palms facing the sky and bend the knee, coming into warrior two. Here, as you exhale, draw the navel in and twist it toward the back wall. Straighten the leg and extend the arm up. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, extending the arms apart, reach away. And as you inhale, lower the arm and take the other one up and over. As you exhale, extend the arms apart. Inhale and rise up. And let's repeat. On the next cycle, we'll prepare to stay in the triangle shape. Extend the left arm up, turn your gaze toward the sky, and let yourself remain still. Trikonasana. Extend the arms apart, bend the knee, and rise into reverse warrior. And as you exhale, swing your arms over your head, bring your hands to the floor, and step back into down dog. I'm going to change my position so I can face you. Now we step the other leg forward. I believe it's your left leg. Come into the low lunge. Rise into high lunge. Straighten the leg, pivot the heel, open the arms apart, and bend the knee. Moving into warrior two. Straighten the leg, extend the arm up. And as you exhale, arms apart, reach away, lowering the one arm, taking the other one up and over. Extend the arms apart and rise up as you breathe in. And let's repeat. Two more cycles. And one more. Here we stay in triangle. Bend the knee, rise into reverse warrior. And as you exhale, swing your arms over your head, bringing your hands to the floor and stepping back into down dog. Let's lower onto our knees and take a moment in child's pose. Let yourself release. Letting go with each exhale. Firmly drawing your navel in towards your spine as you exhale. Let's come up onto our hands and knees. We'll take a moment and come into the half pigeon. Wiggle your hips around for a moment. And then slide your right knee forward so that your shin is behind your hand and your knee is off the edge of your mat. See if you can scoot the other leg further back with the toes pointing straight behind you. If you're already feeling a lot of sensation, you can stay here, or you can choose to come closer to your mat. Just releasing the outer thigh, releasing the hip, and relaxing. You can remain as you are, or you can extend the same arm as your knee that's bent forward and thread the other arm through underneath your shoulder and adding a slight twist here. Decide if this feels right for you or just stay where you were before. Let's all come up onto our hands, tuck the toes under and press back into down dog. Lower onto your knees and prepare for the other side. The other leg comes forward, knee off the edge of your mat, toes pointed in the other one. We come into our half pigeon shape and decide if this is enough, if we're already feeling lots of sensation, or we can choose to deepen it. If you feel like you're struggling, then you're going too far. Just come to a place where you can relax. feeling the release. Now we can stay as we are, or we can extend the same arm as the knee that's bent and thread the other one through and add a slight twist. We'll all come up onto our hands and step back into down dog. Lower onto your knees. And from here, we'll come into a shape called hero. So some of us will sit on our heels, but if this isn't comfortable for you, you can take a pillow or a block and sit on that instead. So the block or the pillow could go on top of your feet or in between your ankles. And so decide if this is comfortable. We'll take a moment here. Firmly draw your navel in towards your spine as you exhale. And as you inhale, extend the crown of your head toward the sky. From here, let's come up kneeling. And we'll be coming into a shape called the Gatekeepers pose. So we'll take, this is your left leg, extend it out to the side with your toes pointing toward me. Extend your arms out and begin to reach. Lowering the arm and taking the other one up and over. We come into a side bend, the Gatekeepers pose. Breathe deeply into the side body. Extending the crown of the head before, as we've been practicing in all of our side bends. Let's rise up, lower the knee, and take another moment to notice if this side feels more open. This side may be less. Notice how it feels in your body. Now the other leg extends. Extend the arms apart and begin to reach. Lowering the arm, other arm is up and over. And we come into our Gatekeepers pose. Let's rise up, lower the knee, and take a moment if you feel a balance now. Let's come down to our seat with the legs crossed. Take a moment to straighten your spine. Then extend your left leg out at a 45-degree angle. The other one is bent, and we add an internal rotation of the leg. Let yourself hinge forward. As we've been practicing in the previous classes, we want to make sure the spine is straight and that we're extending the crown of the head from the body. Just come to a place where you feel comfortable. Smooth your breath out, slow it down, and just observe whether there's a release that's slowly expanding, evolving for you. Let's come up and we'll switch sides. We're preparing ourselves for a seated side bend. So let's begin with this. Again, just the same as the other side. Internal rotation of the thigh. Crown of the head extends away. The hinge at the hips. Just come to a place where you can relax and let go with each exhale. And just observe the release in your own body. Again, if you're tensing up or struggling, then you're going too far and you need to back off. Let's rise up. And we'll go back to the first side to prepare for our seated side bend. Extend the arms apart and begin to reach away from where your toes are. Bend to the side and then take the arm and lower it down. If your hand happens to hit your toes, you can take your thumb and wrap it around your big toe with your palm facing the sky. The other arm can go up and over. Breathe into the upper side body deeply. Let's rise up. Cross the legs and take a moment if you feel a difference again between your one side and the other. Is this side feeling more open? The side bends work with the Vyana Vayu, which is associated with circulation and the movement in and out, like the aura of our body. And we feel more expansive. Let's proceed to the other side. Extend the arms apart and begin to reach past the toes or in the direction of where your toes are. And as before, lower the arm. It can come down to the floor, but if it's hitting your toes, you can choose to grab the big toe with your thumb. The other arm comes up and over. Breathe into the upper side body deeply and extend the crown of the head away. Let's rise back up and cross the legs again, straightening. We'll come into a seated forward bend to kind of even ourselves out here. Extend the legs forward, coming into staff pose and drawing the flesh of your bottom away toward the wall behind you to expose your sits bones. Straighten the spine, extend the arms up, and as you exhale, extend, draw the navel into the spine, gently fold, and rise back up. And let's repeat this, moving slowly and gently. And finally, let's prepare to stay for a few breaths. Let's rise up, lower your arms down, and from here we'll bend our knees and come up onto our feet into a tabletop position, like a coffee table. As you exhale, either sit on the floor or swing through the arms in pike. Rise back up as you breathe in. Exhale, either sit or swing through. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. And let's rise up and stay for a moment. And lower down onto your seat. Come back into your staff pose and prepare to twist. Draw the left leg in so the heel is in towards your bottom, straighten your spine, and then cross it. Other leg either extended or choose to bend the knee. Let's take the left arm behind and extend the other arm up. And as you exhale, you can cross the elbow or just hug the thigh gently as you turn to look over your shoulder. As you breathe in, extend the crown of the head toward the sky. And as you exhale, draw the navel in and twist it in the direction of your turn. Unwind and come back into the staff pose. Bend the other knee. Draw the heel in, crossing the leg as you did before, and either leaving the other one extended or choosing to bend the knee if you prefer. Turn to the other side. It should be towards your right. Extend the left arm up. Either cross the elbow or hug the thigh toward the chest. Gently churning the navel as you exhale, drawing it in and turning it in the direction of your turn. Let's release. And from here, we'll come onto our backs. To prepare for the bridge shape, place your feet on the floor with your knees bent, drawing your heels in towards your bottom. And then lift your bottom off the floor onto the shoulders. Externally rotate the arms. And see if you can link your fingers together underneath you. Breathe deep into the heart center. Let's release it. Roll down your spine and come to the floor. From here, we can take our hands behind the thighs and extend the legs up. A kind of legs up the wall shape. You can also place your hands underneath your bottom and extend the legs up. The third variation is a supported shoulder stand. And so either stay where you are or come into your bridge and place your hands underneath the pelvis and rise up with the hips bent slightly. Open your toes wide and press the balls of your feet toward the sky. Firmly draw the navel in toward your spine. Let's lower ourselves out of the shape and come down to the floor all together. Draw your knees into your chest and rock side to side. Massage at your back. We're going to rock to one side and come into a twist, turning your gaze in the opposite direction. Drawing your navel in and twisting it in the direction of your turn. A gentle twist. Then lift the knees up and let's twist in the opposite direction. Coming back, we're going to do one more side bend in the reclined position. Extend your legs away. Squeeze your legs together. Tuck the pelvis under and reach your arms over your head. Now we're going to take the heels and bring them to the right. And then we'll take the shoulders to the right too. So we come into a side bend. Squeeze your legs together. And take your right arm and place it on your belly, below your belly button on the right side. As you breathe into the palm of your hand. And as you exhale, draw the navel away from the palm of your hand firmly. Work with that cycle. And feel the release on the left side body in this side bend. Come back to the center and straighten yourself. Look at yourself. Make sure you're in a straight line. Extend your arms over your head. Tuck the pelvis under. And now the heels will move to the left. So notice that we don't want to turn the hips as we come into this. If you go too far, you'll be turning your hips. We want the pelvis to be flat against the ground. And we bend the shoulders, bending from the upper body as well, and taking the left hand on the left side of the navel below the belly button. Breathe into the palm. Exhale, draw it away. Firmly. Work with your breath to feel a deeper and deeper side bend in that right side body. Coming back to the center, straighten your body. And let's make ourselves comfortable for Shavasana. Close your eyes and let go. Smooth your breath out. Notice how your body feels, especially in the side body. Do you in fact feel a kind of expansiveness in the side body? With each exhale, let go. So as we lay here, we're going to come back to that balanced breath that we started with in this reclined position. So we want to try to slow it down a bit, breathing in for 4 and out for 4. And next we'll extend the exhale to 6 counts while the inhale remains 4. So we want to start to lengthen the time on the exhale. And once you feel comfortable with that, we're going to go to 2-to-1 breathing, or depending on your perspective, 1-to-2. This means we inhale for 4 and exhale for 8. So it's twice as long exhale than inhale. We can call this 2-to-1 breathing. As we work with this 2-to-1 breathing, if we practice it daily, we can begin to lengthen the time. So here, 4 counts in, 8 counts out, but we could decide at some point if it's comfortable to go to 6, 12, 8, 16, 10, 20. And as you become more and more relaxed in it and proficient in it, working all the way up to 30, 60. We won't be doing that today. It takes a month or 6 months to work up to that point. But we could try 6 and 12 today if you want, or stick with 4 and 8. Finish one more cycle, and then begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Let's begin to wiggle your arms and legs, and maybe turning your head side to side, stirring the body up. And let's roll onto one side and help yourself up. Coming back to the seated position that we started in. Take your time and rise up into your seat. And take a moment to be still. Maybe closing the eyes. And notice if you feel a greater feeling of steadiness than you did earlier before we started, or as we started. We're going to do one more thing, which is called the skull shining breath, Kapalabhati. Now, you may be familiar, because I've already taught this in these series, with the breath of fire. So we'll start with that, the Bhastrika Pranayam, in, out with the belly. It's such a way that it feels comfortable and not disturbing. So let's straighten the spine and work with the breath of fire. Take an exhale out completely, then inhale deeply and hold it for a moment. And exhale. Now the skull shining breath is just a slight variation to this breath of fire. And what it is an exhale. We draw the navel in, and then we just relax and let go, and the breath comes in on its own. So different from the breath of fire, where we feel like we're pumping the navel out and in and out and in. Here we're going to draw it in, exhale, and then just let go and let the breath come in. So let's try it. Straighten your spine and begin. Finish one more cycle and let the breath move on its own. Notice how the forehead feels. And let's lower the chin, opening the eyes up. Bring your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra. And please join me with 3 Oms if you wish to complete the practice. Let's take a deep breath in. Om. Om. Thank you for practicing together. I wish you a nice evening. Stay safe, stay well, and thank you again. Shanti Namaste.